The Bible in a Year, Day 80, Joshua 22 through 24. As at that time Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, the half-tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, You have observed all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, and have listened to my voice in everything I command you. For many years now, even until today, you have not abandoned your allies, but you have taken care to observe the commands of the Lord your God. Now that the Lord your God has settled your allies as he promised them, you may return to your tents, to your own land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you across the Jordan. But be very careful to observe the commandment and the law which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you. Love the Lord your God, follow him in all his ways, keep his commandments, hold fast to him, and serve him with your whole heart and your whole self. Joshua then blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. For to half of the tribe of Manasseh Moses had assigned the land of Bashan, and to the other half Joshua had given a portion along with the allies west of the Jordan. When Joshua sent them away to their tents and blessed them, he said, Now that you are returning to your own tents with great wealth, with abundant livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with a very large supply of clothing, divide these spoils of your enemies with your allies there. So the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh left the other Israelites at Shiloh in the land of Canaan and returned to the land of Gilead, their own land, which they had received according to the Lord's command through Moses. When the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh came to the region of the Jordan in the land of Canaan, they built an altar there at the Jordan, an impressively large altar. The other Israelites heard the report. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh built an altar in the region of the Jordan, facing the land of Canaan, across from the Israelites. When the Israelites heard this, they assembled at Shiloh as the Israelite community to take military action against them. The Israelites sent Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, and with the 10 leaders, one from each tribe of Israel, each one the head of an ancestral house among the clans of Israel. When these came to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, they said to them, Thus says the whole community of the Lord, What act of treachery is this you have committed against the God of Israel? This day you have turned from following the Lord. By building an altar of your own, you have rebelled against the Lord this day. Is the iniquity of Peor not enough, by which we made ourselves impure, even to this day, and a plague came upon the community of the Lord? If today you turn away from following the Lord and rebel against the Lord, tomorrow he will be angry with the whole community of Israel. If you consider the land you possess unclean, cross over to the land the Lord possesses, where the tabernacle of the Lord stands, and share that with us. But do not rebel against the Lord, nor involve us in rebellion by building an altar of your own in addition to the altar of the Lord our God. When Achan, son of Zerah, acted treacherously by violating the ban, was it not the entire community of Israel that wrath fell? Though he was but a single man, he did not perish alone for his guilt. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh replied to the heads of the Israelite clans, The Lord is God of gods, the Lord, the God of gods, knows, and Israel shall know, if now we have acted out of rebellion or treachery against the Lord our God, Do not try to save us this day, and if we have built an altar of our own to turn from following the Lord, or to sacrifice burnt offerings, grain offerings, or communion sacrifices upon it, the Lord himself will exact the penalty. We did it rather out of our anxious concern, lest in the future your children should say to your children, what have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has placed the Jordan as a boundary between you and us. You Reubenites and Gadites, you have no share in the Lord. Thus your children would prevent ours from revering the Lord. So we thought, let us act for ourselves by building this altar of our own, not for burnt offerings or sacrifice, but as witness between us and you and our descendants, that we have the right to provide for the service of the Lord in his presence with our burnt offerings and communion sacrifices. Now, in the future, your children cannot say to our children, you have no share in the Lord. Our thought was that if in the future they should speak thus to us or to our descendants, we should answer, look at the copy of the altar of the Lord, which our ancestors made, not for burnt offerings or for sacrifices, but to witness between you and us. Far be it from us to rebel against the Lord, or to turn now from following the Lord by building an altar for burnt offering, grain offering, or sacrifice, in addition to the altar of the Lord our God, which stands before his tabernacle. When Phinehas the priest and the leaders of the community, the heads of the Israelite clans, heard what the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the Manassites had to say, they were satisfied. Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, said to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the Manassites, today we know that the Lord is in our midst, since you have not rebelled against the Lord by this act of treachery. You have delivered the Israelites from the hand of the Lord. Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, and the leaders returned from the Reubenites and the Gadites in the land of Gilead to the Israelites in the land of Canaan, and reported the matter to them. The report satisfied the Israelites, who blessed God and decided to take military action against the Reubenites and Gadites, not to take military action against the Reubenites and Gadites, nor to ravage the land where they lived. The Reubenites and the Gadites gave the altar its name as a witness among them that the Lord is God. Many years later, after the Lord had given the Israelites rest from all their enemies round about them, and when Joshua was old and advanced in years, he summoned all Israel, including their elders, leaders, judges, and officers, and said to them, I am old and advanced in years. You have seen all that the Lord your God has done for you against all these nations, for it has been the Lord your God who fought for you. See, I have a portion among your tribes as their heritage, the nations that survive, as well as those I destroyed. Between the Jordan and the great sea in the west, the Lord your God will drive them out and dispossess them at your approach, so that you will take possession of their land, as the Lord your God promised you. Therefore be strong and be careful to observe all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, never turning it right or left, or mingling with the nations that survive among you. You must not invoke their gods by name, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. But you must hold fast to the Lord your God, as you have done up to this day. At your approach, the Lord has dispossessed great and strong nations. Not one has withstood you to this day. One of you puts to flight 1,000, because it is the Lord your God himself who fights for you, as he promised you. As for you, take great care to love the Lord your God, for if you even turn away from him and join with the remnant of these nations that survive among you by intermarrying and intermingling with them, know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer dispossess these nations at your approach. Instead, they will be a snare and a trap for you, a scourge for your sides and thorns for your eyes, until you perish from this good land which the Lord your God has given you. Today, as you see, I am going the way of all the earth. So now acknowledge with your whole heart and soul that not one of all the promises the Lord your God made concerning you has failed. Every one has come true for you, not one has failed. But just as every promise the Lord your God made to you has come true, so will he bring upon you every threat, even so far as to exterminate you from this good land which the Lord your God has given you. If you transgress the covenant of the Lord your God, which he enjoined on you, to go and serve other gods and bow down to them, the anger of the Lord will flare up against you, and you will quickly perish from the good land he has given you.